Some people think they can buy their way out of anything. They think money makes them better than everyone else. They think respect is something they don't have to give. Well, not in my courtroom. I hear those words echo through Providence Municipal Court before I even realize I'm the one who said them. My name is Judge Frank Caprio. I've been sitting on this bench for over 30 years. I've seen thousands of cases, thousands of people. But some cases stick with you forever. This is one of them. The courtroom is quiet now. Too quiet. Everyone is staring at the young woman standing in front of me. Her name is Chelsea Vandermeer. She's 23 years old. She's wearing a white blazer that probably costs more than most people make in a month. Her sunglasses are pushed up on her head, even though we're indoors. Designer bag. Expensive watch. Everything about her screams money. But that's not what has everyone's attention. It's what she just said. What she just called the man sitting in the witness area. The soldier. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. Let me back up. Let me tell you how we got here. Case 2026 TR 004721, my bailiff announces. His voice is steady and professional like always. The state versus Chelsea Marie Vandermeer. Reckless driving, failure to yield, and leaving the scene of an accident. I look up from the file on my desk. The charges are serious. This isn't a parking ticket. This is the kind of case that can change lives. Miss Vandermeer, I say, nodding toward the defendant's table. Please step forward. She walks up like she's on a runway, confident, almost bored. She doesn't look nervous at all. Most people are nervous when they come to my courtroom. Even if they didn't do anything wrong, standing in front of a judge makes people nervous, but not her. Good morning, Your Honor, she says. Her voice is smooth, practiced, like she said it 100 times before. Good morning, I reply. I glance at the other side of the courtroom. That's when I see him. Sergeant David Chen. He's 28 years old. He's wearing his army dress uniform, the green jacket with the patches and ribbons. The uniform is crisp and clean, perfect, but his left arm is in a sling. His face has a healing cut above his eyebrow, another bruise on his cheek turning yellow and purple. I've been doing this job long enough to read people quickly. This young man has been hurt, and not just physically. Sergeant Chen, I say, thank you for being here today. I see you're in uniform. Are you currently stationed nearby? He stands up. Even with the injuries, he stands straight, respectful. Yes, Your Honor. I'm stationed at Fort Reynolds, about 40 minutes from here. I'm a supply sergeant with the 127th Infantry. And where do you call home, Sergeant? Providence, Your Honor, born and raised. My family still lives on the east side. My mom works at the elementary school. My dad drives a bus for RIPTA. I nod. I know that neighborhood. Working families. Good people. People who work hard for everything they have. How long have you been serving? 6 years, Your Honor, including one deployment overseas. Thank you for your service, I say. I mean it. Please, have a seat. Let's get to the bottom of what happened here. I turn back to Miss Vandermeer. She's checking her phone, actually checking her phone in my courtroom while I'm talking to the victim. Miss Vandermeer, I say firmly, phone away, please. She looks up, rolls her eyes just slightly, but she puts the phone in her bag. Let's review the facts, I continue. On January 15th, at approximately 2:15 in the afternoon, you were driving your vehicle southbound on Maple Avenue. Is that correct? I was driving, yes, she says. She sounds annoyed already. According to the police report, you were traveling at high speed. You ran a red light at the intersection of Maple and 4th Street. You struck Sergeant Chen's vehicle on the driver's side. Then you left the scene. Is that accurate? I didn't run a red light, she says quickly. It was yellow, and I didn't leave the scene. I pulled over a few blocks away to check my car for damage. I look at her, really look at her. She said, check my car for damage, not check if anyone was hurt, not call for help. Check her car. So you didn't stop to see if Sergeant Chen was injured? I didn't know anyone was hurt, she says with a shrug. It wasn't that hard of a hit. I glance at Sergeant Chen, the sling, the bruises, the cut. Sergeant Chen, I say, can you tell me what happened that day? He stands again. His voice is calm, but I can hear the pain underneath it. Your Honor, I was driving home from the base. I had the green light. I was going through the intersection when her car came out of nowhere. She was going way too fast. She hit my door. The impact spun my car around. My head hit the window. Everything went blurry. When I could finally focus, I saw her car drive away. She didn't stop. She didn't even slow down. Did anyone help you? Yes, sir. Other drivers stopped. Someone called 911. The ambulance came. They took me to Rhode Island Hospital. What were your injuries? Concussion. Dislocated shoulder. Cuts and bruises. The doctors said I was lucky it wasn't worse. Lucky. This soldier who serves our country was lucky to survive a car accident caused by someone who couldn't be bothered to stop at a red light. Thank you, Sergeant, I say gently. Please sit down. I look at the prosecutor. Does the state have evidence? Yes, Your Honor. We have 3 pieces of evidence. First, traffic camera footage from the intersection. The prosecutor hands me a tablet. I press play. The video is clear, crystal clear. I can see the light. It's red, bright red, not yellow, not changing, red. And here comes Miss Vandermeer's car, a white Mercedes SUV. She doesn't even slow down. She blows through the intersection at what looks like 50 miles per hour, maybe more. Then the impact. Sergeant Chen's blue Honda sedan gets hit so hard it spins completely around. The Mercedes doesn't stop. It keeps going, out of frame, gone. I feel my jaw tighten. I look up at Miss Vandermeer. The light was red, Miss Vandermeer, not yellow, red. The camera must be wrong, she says, just like that, like she can just say it and make it true. The camera is calibrated and certified by the city, I tell her. It's accurate. She crosses her arms. Well, I remember it being yellow. Your memory appears to be faulty, I say. My voice is still calm, but inside I'm starting to feel something else. Frustration, disappointment. This young woman could have killed someone, and she's standing here making excuses. Let's move on, I say. Prosecutor, you mentioned 3 pieces of evidence. Yes, Your Honor. Second, we have phone records. Miss Vandermeer made a phone call at 2:17 p.m., approximately 2 minutes after the accident. The call lasted 8 minutes. We also have text messages she sent at 2:26 p.m. The prosecutor hands me printed records. I read the call log. 2:17, 8-minute call to Dad. Then the text messages. I read them twice to make sure I'm seeing this right. The first text, just got in a little fender bender. Car has a dent. The second text to someone named Brittany. Ugh, worst day ever. Some idiot pulled out in front of me. Now my car is messed up. Daddy is going to be so mad. The third text, to the same person. At least I left before the cops showed up, LOL. I read that last line again. At least I left before the cops showed up, LOL. She knew. She knew she should have stayed. And she left anyway. And she thought it was funny. Miss Vandermeer, I say slowly. You texted your friend that you left before the police arrived. That's an admission that you fled the scene. That's taken out of context, she says quickly. I was joking. Joking about leaving the scene of an accident where someone was injured? I told you I didn't know anyone was hurt. Because you didn't stop to check, I point out. She doesn't have an answer for that. She just stares at me. Her expression is shifting now, less bored, more defensive. Your Honor, the prosecutor continues, we also have our third piece of evidence. A witness, Mrs. Ramona Glover, was at the intersection. She recorded part of the incident on her phone. An older woman stands up in the gallery. She walks forward and hands her phone to the bailiff. He brings it to me. I press play. The video is shaky, but clear enough. It shows the moment after the impact. Sergeant Chen's car is stopped in the middle of the intersection, smoke coming from the hood. The white Mercedes is visible in the corner of the frame. Then I hear Mrs. Glover's voice on the video. Oh my God, that car just ran the red light. Someone call 911. The camera zooms in slightly. I can see the Mercedes, and I can see it start to drive away, slowly at first, then faster. She's leaving, Mrs. Glover's voice says on the video. She's leaving the scene. Someone get her license plate. The video catches it, clear as day. The license plate of the white Mercedes. It matches the car registered to Chelsea Vandermeer. I set the phone down. I look at Miss Vandermeer for a long moment. She's not looking at me anymore. She's looking at her lawyer, a man in an expensive suit who has been sitting quietly this whole time. Your Honor, the lawyer says, standing up, my client has no prior record. This is her first offense. She's a college student at Rhode Island School of Design. She comes from a good family. Her father is Richard Vandermeer, the real estate developer. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's contributed significantly to this city. We'd like to request leniency. Perhaps we can arrange a plea deal, a fine and some points on her license. She's learned her lesson. Learned her lesson. She hasn't even admitted she did anything wrong. I appreciate your input, counselor, I say, but I'll determine the appropriate consequences after I hear everything. The lawyer sits back down. He doesn't look happy. I turn my attention back to Miss Vandermeer. I want to ask you something directly. Do you understand that Sergeant Chen was injured because of your actions? It was an accident, she says. Her voice has an edge now, impatience. An accident you caused by running a red light at high speed. I told you I thought it was yellow, and then you left. I panicked, okay? She says. Now there's anger in her voice. I'm 23 years old. I've never been in an accident before. I didn't know what to do. You could have stopped, I say simply. You could have called 911. You could have helped. I did help, she snaps. I called my dad. He told me to move my car so I wouldn't block traffic. There it is. She called her dad, her rich, influential dad, and he told her to leave. Your father told you to leave the scene? I ask. Her lawyer stands up again. Your Honor, we're not here to discuss what advice my client may have received from family members. Sit down, counselor, I say firmly. I'm asking your client a direct question. The lawyer hesitates, then sits. Miss Vandermeer's face is red now. My dad said I should move my car. That's not the same as leaving. You moved it several blocks away, and you didn't come back, and according to your text message, you were glad you left before police arrived. That's not... Miss Vandermeer, I interrupt. My patience is wearing thin. A man was injured. A soldier who serves this country was hurt because you were driving recklessly and then you fled, and you're standing here making excuses. I don't have to stand here and be lectured by you, she says. Her voice is loud now, disrespectful. My lawyer said this would just be a fine and some points. We're ready to pay whatever and move on. The courtroom is dead silent. Even her lawyer looks shocked. Excuse me, I say quietly. You heard me, she continues. She's on a roll now, can't stop herself. This is ridiculous. It was a minor accident. His car is probably worth like $5,000. We'll pay for it. We'll pay double. My family has money. We can make this go away. Miss Vandermeer, I say, my voice very calm and very cold, you don't make things go away in my courtroom. This isn't a negotiation. Whatever, she says. She actually says, whatever to me, in my courtroom. Can we just get this over with? I have plans this afternoon. I look at Sergeant Chen. He's sitting there, quiet and dignified in his uniform. His face shows no emotion, but I can see his jaw is tight. His hands are clasped together. He's trying to hold it together. Then I look back at Miss Vandermeer. She's checking her phone again. Actually checking her phone again. Miss Vandermeer, I say sharply, put the phone away. Now. She looks up. I'm just checking the time. I said put it away. She sighs dramatically. She puts the phone in her bag. Then she looks at me and says something I'll never forget. You know what? This is such a waste of my time. I shouldn't even be here. This whole thing is stupid. He's fine. Look at him. He's sitting there in his little soldier costume like he's some kind of hero. My dad always says people in the military are just people who couldn't make it in the real world. They need the government to take care of them. So yeah, I hit his cheap car. Big deal. We'll write a check and he can go back to playing dress up. Can I go now? 10 seconds of silence. I don't breathe. Nobody breathes. The entire courtroom is frozen. I can hear someone gasp, a woman in the gallery. Then I hear angry whispers. Someone says, "Oh, no, she didn't." My bailiff takes a step forward, his face hard. I look at Sergeant Chen. His head is down now, his shoulders are tight, his good hand is gripping his knee. Then I look at Miss Vandermeer. She realizes what she just said. I can see it dawn on her face. The color drains away. Her mouth opens slightly. "Your Honor, I didn't mean—" "Stop talking," I say. My voice is quiet, but it cuts through the room like a knife. Not another word. She closes her mouth. Her eyes are wide now, scared. I take a breath, a long, slow breath. I've been a judge for a long time. I've seen a lot. I've heard a lot. But this level of disrespect, this level of entitled arrogance, this is something else. "Miss Vandermeer," I say. I'm looking right at her, right into her eyes. "I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say." She nods. She can't speak. "That man you just insulted, Sergeant David Chen, he wears that little soldier costumes, as you called it, because he took an oath. He swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. He swore to protect this country, to protect people like you, people who don't appreciate it, people who don't deserve it." I lean forward. "Sergeant Chen has served for 6 years. He's been deployed to dangerous places, places where people are shooting at him, places where he could die. And why does he do it? Not because he couldn't make it in the real world, as your father apparently told you. He does it because he believes in something bigger than himself. He does it because he has honor, integrity, courage. Words you clearly don't understand." Miss Vandermeer's eyes are filling with tears now, but I'm not done. "You drove recklessly through a red light. You hit his car. You injured him. He has a concussion, a dislocated shoulder. He's in pain every single day. And instead of taking responsibility, you fled. You called your rich daddy to protect you. You texted your friends to laugh about it. And then you came into my courtroom and tried to buy your way out. You disrespected me. You disrespected this process. And worst of all, you disrespected a man who has sacrificed more for this country than you ever will." I pause. The courtroom is so quiet I can hear the clock ticking on the wall. "You asked if you can go now, Miss Vandermeer. You said you have plans this afternoon. Well, let me tell you what your plans are actually going to be." I look down at my notes, then back up at her. "You are hereby found guilty on all charges: reckless driving, failure to yield, leaving the scene of an accident with injury. Here is your sentence." I count off on my fingers. First, financial penalty. You will pay a fine of $5,000 to the court. You will also pay full restitution to Sergeant Chen for his medical expenses, vehicle damage, and lost wages. Based on the documentation provided, that total is $12,800, due in 30 days. Her lawyer starts to object, but I hold up my hand. Second, license suspension. Your driver's license is suspended for 1 year, not 6 months, not 90 days, 1 full year. You will not drive any vehicle during that time. If you're caught driving, you'll face criminal charges and jail time. She's crying now. Real tears. Third, community service. You will complete 300 hours of community service, not at some nice charity gala where you take pictures for Instagram. Real work. You will serve those 300 hours at the Providence Veterans Center. Every Saturday and Sunday, 8 hours per day, for the next 6 months. You will help veterans. You will serve meals. You will clean. You will listen to their stories. You will learn what real service looks like. The center director will report your attendance and attitude to this court every month. If you miss even 1 hour, you'll start over from 0. I see her mouth the word 6 months. She looks like she might faint. Fourth, written apology. You will write a handwritten apology letter to Sergeant Chen, not typed, handwritten, minimum 500 words. In that letter, you will explain what you did wrong, why it was wrong, and what you learned. You will submit it to this court within 2 weeks for my review. If I don't believe it's sincere, I'll reject it, and you'll write it again. Fifth, public accountability. You will create a 3-minute public service announcement about the dangers of reckless driving and the importance of taking responsibility. It will be filmed at the courthouse. It will be posted on the court's website and social media. You will use your real name and face. You will also give that same presentation to 3 high schools in Providence, dates to be arranged by the court. Her lawyer is writing frantically. Miss Vandermeer is shaking. And sixth, special condition. Given your shocking display of disrespect toward Sergeant Chen and the military, you will attend and complete a 4-week course on civic responsibility and military service. The course is offered by the Rhode Island National Guard Family Programs. You will attend every session. You will write a reflection paper after each session. Those papers will be submitted to this court. I stop. I let it all sink in. Then I look at her one more time. Miss Vandermeer, you came into my courtroom thinking you could buy your way out, thinking your money and your father's name would protect you. But in here, none of that matters. In here, we have laws, we have justice, and we have consequences. She's sobbing now, full-on sobbing. Do you have anything to say? I ask. She can barely speak. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Don't apologize to me, I say firmly. Apologize to Sergeant Chen. She turns. She looks at him. He's standing now, still dignified, still strong. I'm sorry, she whispers. I'm so sorry. He doesn't respond. He just nods once, a small, controlled nod. Your apology is noted, I say, but words are easy. Actions matter. You have a long road ahead of you, Miss Vandermeer. I suggest you start taking it seriously. I bang the gavel. This court is adjourned. 6 months pass. It's a Saturday morning in July. I'm at the courthouse catching up on paperwork when my assistant tells me I have a visitor. It's Sergeant Chen. Sergeant, I say, standing to shake his hand. His arm is out of the sling now. He looks healthy, strong. Good to see you. How are you doing? Much better, Your Honor. Thank you. I wanted to stop by and tell you something. Please, sit down. He sits across from my desk. I've been at the Veterans Center every weekend for the past 6 months. Same time as Miss Vandermeer. How's she doing? I ask. He smiles slightly. At first she was terrible. Complained about everything. Showed up late. Did the bare minimum. The veterans didn't like her. That doesn't surprise me. But something changed, he continues. About 2 months in, she started actually listening. There's a Vietnam veteran named Mr. Patterson. He's 80 years old. Lost his leg in combat. One day, he was telling stories, and she actually sat down and listened. Really listened. She started asking questions. She started showing up early, staying late. Last week, she organized a birthday party for Mr. Patterson, brought decorations, made a cake herself. I lean back in my chair. Really? Yes, sir. She's got 40 hours left, but she asked the director if she could keep volunteering after her sentence is done. She said she wants to keep helping. I feel something warm in my chest. Hope, maybe, or validation. Sometimes this job feels impossible. You wonder if anything you do makes a difference. Thank you for telling me this, Sergeant, I say. I wanted you to know, he says, what you did that day, how you held her accountable. It mattered. You changed her. We shake hands again. He leaves. I sit at my desk for a while, thinking. I think about Miss Vandermeer, that angry, entitled young woman who stood in my courtroom 6 months ago. I think about who she was and who she might become. Justice isn't just about punishment. It's about accountability, growth, change. It's about teaching people that actions have consequences, that respect isn't optional, that every person, no matter their job or background or bank account, has dignity and worth. Sergeant Chen wore his uniform that day. He didn't have to. He could have worn regular clothes, but he wore it because he's proud of what he does, proud of his service. And when Miss Vandermeer insulted him, insulted all service members, she crossed a line. I did what no one expected that day. I didn't just give her a fine and let her walk away. I made her face what she'd done. I made her serve the people she disrespected. I made her learn. And maybe, just maybe, she did. That's what justice looks like. Not revenge, not cruelty, but consequences that teach, that transform, that make people better. I look at the photo on my desk. It's of Providence, my city, the place I've served for over 3 decades. I've always believed that everyone deserves equal justice, rich or poor, powerful or powerless, everyone. Miss Vandermeer learned that lesson the hard way, but she learned it. And that soldier, Sergeant David Chen, he didn't just get an apology. He got justice, real justice. That's what I'll always fight for, as long as I'm sitting on this bench, as long as I'm wearing this robe. Equal justice for everyone.